Adam.
Yeah!
What's up? Hey, good afternoon, Utah. My name is Adam Livingston, and I'm a 7-year Marine Corps veteran. Yeah, so hide your crayons because it's almost dinner time and I'm getting hungry. A couple of administrative comments. I apologize in advance if everything in my remarks today is not up to date because, my God, is it freaking exhausting and difficult to keep up with all the horrific crap going on today. Additionally, I recognize that we're in a park with playgrounds nearby. So being a Marine, a foul mouth kind of comes with the title, and I'll do my best to keep the profanity to a minimum, but you know, it's my utmost effort. So with that out of the way, today's protest is Veterans Against Fascism in America. So let's hear it. Where are my fellow devil dogs at?
Yeah!
Give me a little hoo-ah if you are or were a soldier. What about our squids? Sailors, where y'all at? All right. And what about all you flyboy airmen? Where are you at? Woo. All right. Now, fair warning, I got out as a captain, so if there's one thing that I know, what all those who serve love is a long, drawn-out, motivational speech by an officer, so I'll try not to go over 90 minutes. You know, I am proud to have served in the armed forces, and I am hard-pressed to find any regret in my experience leading Marines, as it was the greatest honor of my life to serve alongside them. My biggest inspiration in serving was my grandfather. Apparently, in 1944, some bastards in Germany were doing the same hand gestures as that disgusting little muskrat did on Inauguration Day, and he decided to do something about it. It's a miracle that I'm even here speaking to you all today, as my grandfather completed 35 missions as a crewman aboard a B-17 bomber. It's a job so dangerous that completing all required missions had a less than 50% survival rate. And as fate would have it, he was flying over Germany on this very day 81 years ago. He was, he is, and always has been my hero. He decided to act and show courage during a pivotal moment in history, standing up for the ideals of justice and freedom, and acting to depose a tyrant wreaking havoc around the world. The same thing that each and every one of you is doing today. Today, on this hallowed anniversary of D-Day, we remember the brave men who stormed the beaches of Normandy and ascended from the skies into France. Men who fought and died to defend democracy and the world against tyranny. They answered the call not for glory, not for power, but for the idea that freedom must prevail over fascism. As a Marine who swore the same oath that they did, I stand here today not as a partisan hack, but as an American who believes that oath still matters. An oath that does not have an expiration date. Sadly, we are in the position we are in today because the Mango Mussolini currently occupying the Oval Office did what he does best. He conned the entire country. He conned those who voted for him into believing that he was there to fight for them. And yes, there are some that are too far gone. You know the ones who say they value law and order and yet vote for a 31-count convicted felon, fraudster, and rapist. The ones whose only political stance is to own the libs, all while wrapping themselves in the American flag and hiding behind what Fox News, OAN, and Newsmax told them what the Bible and the Constitution say. The ones who would stand in line to pay to sniff the farts of their emperor, overlord, God King, and publicly brag that it smells like roses, and then go again for seconds. The ones who would prefer America to have a dictator or a king. To them, I simply say, thoughts and tariffs. I'm done trying to reason with these people, and all I can hope for is that they enter the find out phase sooner rather than later. These are the same people who claim to be the most pro-troops, and yet are the same ones that voted for this draft dodging dickhead even after he said he wanted to be a dictator. They always vote for these Republican hacks who voted against the PACT Act to give veterans care for veterans who are victims of burn pits care, and are actively cutting services for Veterans Affairs. If these fascists achieve their goal to eliminate the VA, then the people who voted for them will be responsible for the deaths of countless veterans. And yes, that includes me. If the VA is eliminated, My parents will be responsible for my demise, and yet they wonder why we no longer speak. These are the same people that always spout hollow platitudes of, thank you for your service, kiss my ass. I don't need thanks from people who collectively have 2 brain cells, both of which are fighting for 3rd place. You know, it breaks my heart that because so many people in this country were duped, we now have a fascist in the White House doing Nazi crap and allowing Nazis to trance around and destroy any semblance of a functioning government. And yes, it's a long time past to stop beating around the bush. They are Nazis. And in spite of the constant gaslighting by these right-wing bootlickers and propagandists online and on TV that would make North Korean state TV blush, I refuse to believe that what that Muskrat did wasn't an accidental 2-time back-to-back Sieg Heil. Fuck you and the swastika you rode in on if you believe otherwise. However, we all must face the harsh reality and confront an uncomfortable truth. The United States of America will never be the same. And even after this supercalifragilistic, racist, sexist Nazi POTUS is out of office. The same great evil that the greatest generation and my grandfather fought 81 years ago is the same evil that is now infecting the United States. So let's take a brief look at the facts. There's a systematic effort to systematic effort to ban and stifle literature that goes against their ideology, and on many occasions, literally burning books. Number 2, in addition to the book burning, they hate any education that creates informed citizens and actively target educational institutions who go against them. 3, they want to control the press, using government agencies and the legal system to bend them to their dear leader's will. 4, we see imperialist rhetoric to go to war with Iran and Mexico, as well as to annex other countries, our allies, such as Canada, Greenland, and Panama. 5, political opponents, which he preemptively labeled as the enemy within, are being arrested for First Amendment protected activities, such as protesting, and being deported for exercising freedom of speech and freedom of the press. 6, judges are being arrested for doing their job and are being stripped of any enforcement mechanisms they have by a complicit Congress, no matter how trivial that mechanism might be. 7, marginalized groups, immigrants, the LGBTQ community, or those who simply have too much melanin, are being systematically targeted and oppressed. 8, the red hats are the new brown shirts, willing to do anything their Führer tells them, knowing that they will get a pardon for whatever crimes they commit in his name. 9, ICE is the new Gestapo, disappearing political dissidents and other undesirables and sending them to slave labor concentration camp gulags in El Salvador. And 10, finally, the country continues to be complicit in one of the greatest crimes of our age, funding an ongoing and live-streamed genocide. And you may ask yourself, to what purpose, to what end does this all serve? And it's quite simple. So they can enrich themselves and their top 1% buddies even further. This country has been completely captured by these billionaire robber baron oligarchs. They have successfully rigged the deck in their favor. They legalized bribery and bought politicians, judges, and the police. They buy news outlets and newspapers to control messaging that is in their best interest and not what's best for you, not what's best for me, not what's best for we the people. These oligarchs continue to use the levers of power they bought with their obscene wealth, which you created with your labor, to continue their consolidation of power and money to eventually control our government outright. Our elected representatives, both Republican and Democrat, have sold out this country and abdicated their duty to we the people to only serve themselves and those who have bribed them. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say bribe? I meant campaign contributions. They are guided by perverse incentives to do the bidding of their corporate masters just to keep their perceived positions of power. They then use their office to insider trade and enrich themselves to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars. Fuck these people and vote them out of office. And you know, I hate to say it, but it helps me be mentally prepared when it happens. Things are going to get worse. They're going to get much worse before they get better. But we also and we also must face the reality that the American century is over. So what can we do about it? What can we do as individuals and as a community to get us off this regressive, destructive path and prepare ourselves for the worst and hopefully a brighter future for us all? As a community, we must stay united through this adversity and continue to show up to these events. We must keep an open door for all those who are disgusted by what is happening, cultivating friendships with them, and turning out in overwhelming numbers. We must support each other when times get tough. Give your friends a hug, call them, go out for coffee. Hell, schedule game nights with them on a weekly basis. Keep the sense of community. We also must use our quickly disappearing freedoms to keep up the pressure. We must use every peaceful means at our disposal to oppose, resist, and effectuate change. Now, as individuals, do your best to keep the faith. Take care of yourselves, both physically and mentally. I encourage everyone to exercise and work out, not only for the health benefits, but to prepare for a worst-case scenario. We are here using our First Amendment rights of speech, assembly, and redress of grievances. And that's beautiful. And I encourage everyone to keep doing that. This is extremely powerful stuff. Law enforcement has always taken the side of the rich and powerful and are the strong men of authoritarians. They are trained to lie to you, so you incriminate yourself. So heed the words enshrined by our founding fathers in the Fifth Amendment when dealing with the police. Shut the fuck up. And there are also those who wish harm on us because of our speech. I'm not, nor is anyone here, blind to these right-wing militias. The ones who I like to call vanilla ISIS and Al-Qaeda, and so on. Therefore, I also encourage you to safely and responsibly exercise another amendment so you can protect yourself from harm. And let me be perfectly clear, I am not advocating for, nor do I condone violence. That's what they do, that's not what we do. But you must take steps to protect and defend yourselves and your family because these jihadists are more emboldened and unpredictable than ever, especially with the executive branch handing out pardons like hotcakes to them. So what do we do about the maggots? The only way they will change their ways is if they are personally affected because they don't give a shit about anyone except themselves. It's the only language they understand. It's not about politics. It's about a fundamental and irreconcilable difference in character, morals, and ethics. They must be mocked. They must be shamed relentlessly. They must reluctantly throw those red Made in China hats into the fire of the books they so proudly and gleefully burned. But it doesn't end there. It doesn't end there. They need to learn how it feels, how it really feels. To have shame, regret, sorrow, and hurt. Not just until things that they voted for start affecting them personally, or how after they have passed, but for the rest of their days, knowing that they were responsible for destroying our country that we love. They must beg for forgiveness when the entire country collectively spits on them in disgust, only to find that no forgiveness is to be had. That time won't be today, and it won't be tomorrow. And throughout these events, I've seen many signs that say what you're doing right now was what you would have done in 1933, 1960, etc. And rest assured, ladies and gentlemen, history will be written in your favor. It will be a long and difficult road, but we must persist. And this difficult moment that we face right now might seem overwhelming, but through pressure and time, we will move mountains. We all face risk being here, and yet have the courage to come anyways. But let me ask you something, Utah. Will you ever quit?
No!
Will you ever quit?
No!
Do not underestimate the power we have, the power as a people in overwhelming numbers against those who seek to destroy us and the country we love. We are the bulwark against injustice and cruelty. We know that trans people aren't the problem, that DEI is not the problem, and that immigrants are not the problem. Bigots are the problem. Racists are the problem. Fascists are the problem. Billionaires are the problem. Oligarchs are the problem. And like my grandfather and those courageous souls who fought against tyranny 81 years ago today, I will not abide a fascist destroying a country I swore an oath to protect. F that noise! My oath does not have an expiration date. They chose hate. They chose to view us as their enemy. They chose one man over country. They got their wall. My name is Adam Livingston, retired captain of the United States Marine Corps now and forever, a brother to the working class and decent people of this defiant and courageous nation. Never again will your actions carry such consequence, and never again will you serve as you serve now. No duty as much and no glory will taste. No duty will matter as much and no glory will taste as true. We are the defenders of the Constitution of the United States. Will you stand with me?
Yeah!
Will you stand with me?
Yeah!
Sons and daughters of Utah, our stance is that of heroes and martyrs. The fascists and oligarchs dare defile our government. They dare trample our sacred, inalienable rights just to line their pockets with even more money. We will throw this tangerine tyrant out of the Oval Office when the final day dawns. This country belongs to we, the people, not kings, not tyrants. This is our country. This is our nation. Say it. Cry it out so even the bastards in Washington can hear you. Our country, our nation.
Our country, our nation.
Our country, our nation. Semper Fi.